Hello, my name is Eddie Garrido. I'm here to talk to you about the Akai MPC Key 61. I just have one word for it. Wow. This keyboard is really, really good. I mean, as most of you know, here MPC started kind of like a drum machine sampler from the 80s, and it was something that people sampled something small and then they would create loops with that. And it took off with hip hop and that sort of thing. A lot of top 40 bands used it. And as a keyboard player, I always kind of like, I really didn't get into it because I wasn't into sampling that much, especially in the 80s. I was playing live or I was using MIDI. And if I used like a drum machine, I would use like a Roland 707 or something like that. But anyway, I've done a few videos with the just kind of like giving my opinion on the sequencers and the way they record, and I have one on the Modi X. I have a few on the Modi X. That sequencers was very confusing, but I came up with a bunch of steps that makes it a lot clearer, and now it's a breeze for me to sequence on that because of the method that I applied to it. Then we got the Phantom O, which is a great Ableton Live style sequencer where you do like MIDI clips, rather than samples. It's like MIDI clips, and then you can chain them together. And it's a breeze. It's really fun sequencing with the Phantom O. But for instance, the Modi Extras, you can load samples into it, but you cannot record audio into it. Phantom O, you can record audio to it, but it's not very intuitive, and it's kind of like when it comes to exporting your whole file and stuff, I mean, I wouldn't want to record audio in it to begin with, other than one-shot samples. So I got the Korg Nautilus, which promises a 16-channel audio recorder, which in my opinion fell short. Now the Korg Nautilus has great sounds, really, really great sounds, but the sequencer is really, really old-fashioned. There's way too many clicks you gotta do to achieve anything. I found the audio recorder sort of buggy. I have videos on that too if you want to go to my channel and check them out. You can do some things in it. I wouldn't want to record audio in it just because it just doesn't have enough for me. I'm actually gonna sell that keyboard. It really did nothing for me. Somebody in one of my videos, as I was complaining of some things about the audio sounds, the audio way of recording, they said, you know what, you should try the Akai MPC Key 61. And I'm like, what is that? So I went to check it out, and I liked what I saw, so I ordered it to see if I liked it. And again, I just have one word for it. So far, I'm like in awe. Is wow. This keyboard is really, really nice. It's very well thought of. It's no longer just a drum machine. It really is as close as you're gonna get to a digital audio workstation in a computer. And I'm just gonna play you something I put together right away. As soon as I opened the keyboard, started trying out the sounds, I was like, oh man, this sound reminds me of this song. Whatever. So it reminded me of something I wrote a long time ago, and it's just really a 2-chord song, but I was able to put like an intro, verse, and variations of. So here it comes. It would be the intro, because you have your sequence. It starts on a sequence, then you have your track. And in your tracks, you have 8 plugins. You have 128 MIDI tracks, but they have plugins. Just like a DAW, they have plugins. Now you can, in your sequence, you can only use 8 plugins. So for instance, here I'm using drums for number 1. And then track 2, I'm also using drums because I always put my percussions in track 2. And then track thing, you see how it switch? That's the plugin, and you can see that little plug. So I'm using a synth bass from this plugin in track 4, a pad, track 5, and some motion ARP. These are all plugins within the keyboard, and 8. I didn't use all 8. So I'm gonna go to the piano, electric piano, which by the way, all their pianos and their electric pianos, all their sounds are top notch. They're really, really good. So I'm just gonna play the intro, and then I'm gonna be switching to the verses. There's a way of putting them all together in song mode. Right now I'm just gonna switch manually. So I'll go to intro and then so here's where I would start singing the first verse, and obviously this is the next is gonna go to verse 2, and it's just a little variation. Not sure if it's translating on the phone video correctly, but just added some cowbell, you know, and a little more very subtle percussions. And we have here it's gonna be kind of like the chorus. Gotta let up, gotta let up. I'm gonna have like huge vocal chords, vocal harmonies. You know. Here I'm just gonna have the vocal harmonies. So, I mean, allow me to go through the sounds that I chosen. You know, for instance, all these sounds are coming from there, you know. You have tons of drums. This came from originally from a drum machine. So it comes with as many drums as you can possibly have of all varieties. I wrote this song in the 80s, so I wanted something that sounded really 80s. And obviously it's the kit, the 80s kit. Just really good. And then over here I got my percussions. Now this, it felt short a little bit on the percussions, so I had to after I recorded this, I went ahead and sampled my own percussions, and I will be releasing that soon in a program. And anyway, listen to this bass. Reminds me of that. That's the great basses, that they synth bass, and also they have pretty nice samples of electric basses and acoustic basses on the pad. All these are from their plugin collections. Love this piano. And I used this, but I used it with a ARP. It has an arpeggiator. All the effects are really good in it too. So these are the sounds that I mean, so far, I mean, I've only used this keyboard once before this video, which is for making this song. And this is something that blew my mind too. For instance, let's say I have right here, change to the verse. So I'm here, right? So I want to see what I did. I just go to the that's not the grid, and there's my drums. There's my percussions. You see this is track percussions. There's my synth bass. If I want to move a note, all I have to do is select it, and then I can edit it with my. I can shift it, horizontal scroll. You see how it moves the. I can zoom in, zoom out. I mean, it's just like I can add my notes. How do I see? I added a note right there. I have an undo button right there. So it also gives me my different views. That's for live views mostly. But I mean, this is your main view. I'm just so impressed by the way this keyboard is set up. It really, I'm amazed by it. Now, get this. So for instance, if I want to start I'm gonna start a song. So I'm gonna go, let's see if I remember how to do this. Oh, new project right here, right? Do you want to save changes you made to this project? I'm gonna say no. Don't save, I already saved it. So it's gonna load up a new project, right? And it's gonna come up with some, what do you want, empty, and they have some templates. I'm gonna go empty, and it took me to the sounds, right? So I'm gonna go to the main page, and of course I'm in sequence 1, and I can say, well, okay, I want 120 bits for 4 bars, right? Okay, so now in track 1, I want some drums. So I'm gonna go to drums, and this is the only part that was kind of like weird for me, because we're used to different keyboards having the drum sounds, but this was a sampler before anything else. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to be in track 1. I went to drums, and then here I'm gonna say assign samples. I accidentally muted that. So assign samples, and then it's like, oh, where are the samples? So I gotta go browse, and now there's my and I can audition them. So I'm like, okay, I'm digging that. So I love that. That was the only confusing part of it, right? So now I gotta go back to my main, and now I'm still in program 1, so I have to go in. Now I have my sounds. Now they're mapped weirdly. They're not mapped kind of like, I guess, General MIDI or like everybody is, where they have bass drum on C2 and the snare drum on D2. Like for instance, my bass drum here is C sharp, so, and my snare is C, but whatever, I'm just gonna go ahead, and I have 4 bars. I'm gonna go to there, and I'm gonna bring the tempo down. Now mind you, this is the second time I use this, so my dog is barking. And here it comes. So I'm gonna start with the break, and 4. Let's assume that that's what I want, and I go to track 2, and this is where the fun starts, because in track 2 now it says plugin 2, right? I went to a MIDI, right? So I'm gonna go to sounds, and it took me to this fabric, right? So I'm like, okay, let's see what's in here. Let's go to romantic sounds or smooth workstation, urban piano, classical grand. Let's go for a bass. So let's go to bass line. Basic. That's what we'll record right there, and I'll go. So now that I have that, I'm gonna go to my main and I want to see my grid. So you see the ones, I don't want those ones. So I'm gonna go erase. I'm gonna erase that. I'm gonna erase that one. Erase it. Erase, erase, erase. Let's see what I have. So I'm gonna add that. So if I go shift, shift stop, it returns me to bar 1, and so now I'm gonna go to my main. I'm gonna go to track 2, and I'm gonna find me another plugin. I'm gonna go to fabric. I can switch all my plugins right here, or I can just go to sounds, pick fabric. I'm gonna look for let's see what sounds with an arpeggio. Nah. This one. Let's do that. It's weird enough. Let's record. So now let's go to track 4, another plugin, and this time I'm gonna look for a thump. Then now I'm gonna go to track 4, that's unused. So on here, I'm gonna go to strings. This program is used on 2 tracks. Okay, so here sometimes, and this is like a weird little bug that it has. You see, it tells me it's been unused because for some reason they already load up 4 plugins. So I'm gonna have to add. See, on track 4, if I add, I'm gonna have to go to add, see 5, and now I can add another sound. I don't know if that makes sense. And I'm gonna go to attack strings. Let's see what that sounds like. All right, so you see, the sounds are top notch. And I'm gonna go now to another track. And let's see, stage piano over here. Oh no, I'm gonna press undo and see. So I gotta go track 6, plugin 6. And in sounds, I'm gonna go to stage piano, see what I got. Let's see. Now I can go here. Let me turn this down a little bit so you can hear me. I can go to main, and I think there's a mixer in here somewhere. Or there should be a menu, channel mixer. So I want to go to 6. I'm going to turn 6 up. I can also have inserts here. So let's insert a dynamics. Select. There it is. So and you can even keep it playing and go back and add something else. I'll add my plugin, and now this time I'll go to hype and see what I find. Let's see, lead soft. Let's see what this is. Go to main. I gotta go to menu, channel mixer, turn it up. If I want more delay, open the delay, open it. a delay. Select. Let's edit it. You know, so for instance, let's say that this actually was something that made sense. I can go now to sequence 2, and then I can go. So sequence 1 could be, you know, like my other thing. I had intro verse. So my sequence 1 is this. Let's say that that's the intro, and then I go and do sequence 2, whatever. And for that, I can also copy sequence, boom. And I can copy it to the next sequence and add, edit, whatever I want. And this is something super useful that I haven't seen in other keyboards. Like for instance, right here, I have my sequence 1 is 4 bars, right? Then let's say that I'm like, I want that to be longer. So all I have to do is go double the length. Now when I go back, I have 8 bars, but it copied all the information. So look, that's bar 1, 2, 3, that's what I originally had. 4. See now, so I mean, it's just so easy to work with this. Now get this. This has not 1, but 2 XLRs inputs. Well, combination XLR and quarter inch. So just perfect. You know, so I'm gonna record the vocals for my other thing here. I just, like I said, this is the second time I use it, and it's fairly easy to get around. It's very comprehensive. The sounds are great. So once again, you have all these plugins, which is your Fabric, that it's kind of like their main plugin. Let's see. He has all kinds of things. He has like all kinds of pianos. Now notice these are folders, and within the folders you're gonna have these are like bells. This reminds me a little bit of Omnisphere. You have electric pianos. Let's go to hype. Same thing. You got your folders. Bass warm. Let's see what's that. We got OP4, which is kind of like a FM. It's an FM. Falling effects. FM is a 4-operator FM synthesizer, like the DX7. Well, DX7 was 6 operators, so more like the DX100, DX27. Tube synth. Let's see what. You have your stage piano. Let's see the standard. It's a Yamaha Grand. Actually, I should be, everything has echoes because I put echoes on it. Let me, new project. Do you want to save? No, I don't want to save this. It was actually quite embarrassing. So now let's go to the sounds. An empty project. Let's go to stage piano, standard, Yamaha Street. We have the Steinway. It's loading. And I guess there's a bunch of ways to edit the sounds, I'm thinking. I know there's a way to go into the sounds, and they have pretty maybe here. Well, like I say, I don't really know the keyboard. Let's go to that was the stand there. What was classic? The pianos are decent enough. I'm sure there's a bunch of people that are gonna go like, oh, well, the piano, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, we're not playing Rachmaninoff here, right? Studio EP. Let's see, amp cab. Set case combo. Oh, let's see what the whirly sounds like. It's loading. So I mean, more than good pianos. We got the organ. I'm not really an organ player, but let's see what happens. So, and I know that. Oh, I wish I could get to the. Oh, I did instrument. That's where you see it. So let's see. Let's go to the piano again. And let's see. Edit instrument, and there it is. And you have all your settings. So these are plugins. So far, I am really hyped. And you have like all these Mellotron. These are smaller versions of these guys. And then you have electric, which I don't know what it is. Let's see what's perk. Kalimba. So, you know, that's what it is. So you have plugins. You have a sampler, which I haven't even talked about. We have like as many drum sounds as you can possibly imagine. And a workflow that's pretty easy. And besides your 128 MIDI tracks, 8 plugins, you also have your audio tracks, which I have not talked about. So you have audio 1, audio 2, audio 3, and then you go around. So now get this. Let's say that you're in your verse. You go to the audio in your same verse, so then you can work in sections with your audio. It has auto tune. It has all these really nice effects. You can edit your audio. It's really impressive. Now, like I said before, I'm gonna go back to my menu project. I'm gonna see if I can find my project. For that, I'm gonna have to go to browse, browser. But you can search. So I'm just gonna go. Gotta let up. And internal, there it is. There's my project. Load. Do I wanna replace everything in memory? I don't care. It's loading. Remember, this is a sampler, so that also runs plugins. So basically, it's kind of like a DAW. And there's my intro, and bring my next verse. love it. I'm loving this keyboard. So now here I can just go to audio and record that. My audio for that. Work on that. Then I go to my next verse. And then I go to the song mode and chain it all together. Or you can also just use one sequence to record linear if you want. Very impressed with this keyboard. In my next video, I made this already way too long. Sorry about that. In my next video, I'm actually gonna record the vocals. I won't do it live. I'll just show you what happened and if I really liked it. Because like I tried to record the vocals on a song that I redid on the Nautilus, and I just did not like it. I did not enjoy the experience. It was buggy. And then it does not bounce the stems, the Nautilus. None of these other keyboards do, right? This one, when you're done, you can bounce to stems. You can bounce to MP3. You can bounce in any resolution. You can bounce to WAV file and other formats in any resolution. And you can also bounce to stems. Brilliant. And you bounce to either a hard drive. It has all kinds of, it has 2 or 3 USB ports, I don't remember. Or you can just bounce to your thumb drive, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to record the audio on this, and I will let you know my experience on it. And sorry to make this video so late, but I mean, if you're looking for a keyboard that will bring you inspiration and that it'll be as close to as DAW as possible. And the reason being because, you know, when sometimes you have to boot up the computer and then you have to update this and update that, and something didn't work, your samples weren't found, you need your license for this, you need your license for that. A lot of times there's a lot of obstacles that will impede, that will slow down your process. If you want just a keyboard where you can just like load stuff up and go freely experimenting, and then maybe later on finishing it on Logic or Pro Tools or whatever, or finishing everything in here. Like I say, it has 2 XLR inputs with phantom power. I'm in awe with this keyboard. Is wow. And you'll see a lot of videos that say like, hey, the keyboard action, blah blah blah. Oh, by the way, the keyboard has aftertouch, and the keyboard action is decent. It doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I can play just fine on it. Is it good as other keyboard actions? Probably not. It's a little spongy, but I mean, it's not unplayable. It's very, I mean, I don't even notice. I mean, it doesn't offend me. So, and I don't think it won't. I mean, if you want something that's a lot more than a scratch pad, that's something that you can probably do a full production in, I think this is it. And I will let you know what I think about the audio recorder in it in my next video. For now, thank you for watching. Eddie-G.com, EDDIE-G.com.